Broadcasting from Manhattan Beach and the World Wide Web, you're listening to CHSR, HealthyLife.net.
As a service to our listeners, this program is for general information and entertainment purposes only. CHSR HealthyLife.net does not recommend, endorse, or object to the views, products, or topics expressed or discussed by show hosts or their guests. We suggest you always consult with your own personal, medical, financial, or legal advisor.
Welcome to Radio AMB, designed for those who want to live a long and vibrant life. I'm Patty Smucker, and I've been in the industry for over 40 years. Radio AMB, which stands for American-Made Beauty, is where we tell the secrets behind the making of health and beauty products. Now, our segment sponsor today is AmericanMadeBeauty.com, a beauty platform that is going to be transforming this year into an e-commerce platform. Right now, it's a place where you can find companies that implement the industry's best practices to bring you quality beauty products and services. Go to AmericanMadeBeauty.com and find beauty products and services that meet a strict set of standards that reflect their American heritage. If you'd like to sample some of those products, you can click on our consumer page and find our beauty box and sign up for free beauty samples. Now, 2017 started strong here at Radio AMB with our content garnering increased responses from our listeners. Our audience has actually doubled in this last year, and we love to get your comments and your questions. We started 2017 with a behavioral anthropologist, last week with a master in the hair industry that has shaped the way hairdressers see themselves and how they have created beauty in others for decades. Today, we continue the second part of that interview to learn how this industry leader, along with her husband, are touching lives with eternal beauty. My returning guest today is Jeanne Braa Foster, who was the legendary Paul Mitchell stage partner, working on stage with him from the launch of Paul Mitchell hair care brand in the 80s until he lost his battle to cancer in 1989. If you missed the first part of this conversation last week with Jeanne, please go back to our archive page on HealthyLife.net or to Radio AMB page on AmericanMadeBeauty.com and hear how Jeanne started and helped make history. We're joined today by her husband, Dr. Deane Foster. During our feature segment today, we'll meet Dr. Foster and tell you how Jeanne and the doctor came together and married in their 50s. We'll let the conversation unfold as they share how factors in their life challenged their marriage early on and how they've turned adversity into an opportunity to be of service to others. So let's get started by allowing me to tell you a little bit about Deane J. Foster, M.D. Dr. Deane Foster knew he would be a doctor from an early age. His dad was in general practice when doctors made house calls and delivered babies. Deane witnessed firsthand the value of wellness in life. He was educated in molecular biology at University of California in San Diego. Here in California, we know that as UCSD. He then attended USC for medical school. After completing his residency at an LA hospital, he became a board-certified orthopedic surgeon and a fellow in the American Academy of Orthopedic Surgeons. He had a successful practice in San Diego involving 4 hospital trauma departments, plus teaching in the medical department back at his alma mater, UCSD. This hectic lifestyle brought him to a point of seeking Jesus and traveling to the Holy Land. Deane did his first mission in 2000 and continues to do missions to the present. Deane retired his scalpel for a much larger cause that you'll hear about today. Welcome back, Jeanne, and hello, Deane. We're delighted to have you with us today.
Hi, Patty.
Thanks. So Jeanne, I want to sort of connect the dots with our last show where we learned, and I'm going to just quickly summarize, we learned about your amazing journey as a single mom who started out doing hair for all your friends as a young woman in Wyoming. You decided to get a better education and travel the world at 30, exploring the art of hair design and cutting with some of the top designers in the world, which led you to work alongside the legendary Paul Mitchell. You retired after many years as Director of Education and a shareholder in the Paul Mitchell Company. Tell us a little bit about what led you to retire and to find a new pathway in your life.
Well, I think I mentioned in the earlier segment, it is a love story, and it's a miracle, no less. And to say that American-made beauty is all about health and beauty, well, this marriage is very much about health and beauty. It's a medical doctor and a beauty professional. So I also mentioned that prayer is fundamental and believe that it is a miracle, that some people, life really begins at 50, and I have to say that for me because that's when I found the love of my life, Deane, and to be able to have that opportunity to have the richness of life that was really missing in the first half, that, you know, that partner in life, that marriage that really happened late. So,
and so what were the circumstances that brought you and Deane together?
Well, I get to tell my version, or you get to get his version.
I'll chime in after. You go for it, girl.
Yeah, I've got my list of questions for him in a minute.
Well, a friend told us about each other, and we both said, no, thank you. We said we were praying, and we figured if anybody's going to pick a good man for me, I thought it would be the Lord. And sure enough, we were walking along the coast of South Coast Boulevard in La Jolla and ran into Deane running along with his German Shepherd dog, and he recognized my friend Sarah and said hi, and we met. So it was the perfect timing and opportunity. And although I thought he was darling, and his dog was even more darling.
Yeah, she fell in love with my dog first.
Right.
But I thought he really only liked me as a friend. So it was amazing that we did become friends, and we were friends for a year before he ever made any indication that was he held my hand. So that began a whole new avenue. But being friends first was really key for us because we had both failed at our first marriage, and I had been single 30 years. So it was a match made in heaven, and then a friendship developing from that point on.
Yeah.
Well, welcome, Deane. We're delighted to have you with us. Now, of course, you know, I oftentimes, you know, when you're talking to a doctor, I hear that there's an occupational hazard with doctors, that you're often faced with being asked medical advice anywhere, anytime by anybody. Is it really a problem? And tell me about the worst question you think you've ever been asked at a cocktail party.
Oh, my. Well, I first get the comment on the story just a touch, because I think I could add a little bit to it, in that, you know, that there's a saying that says beauty is not skin deep. And when I met Jeanne, I saw a person that was absolutely beautiful. And it was that person that I befriended and then fell in love with. And I think that in our second time around in our 50s, we are older and wiser, and I think a little more cautious, but it turned out spectacularly well. And I think there's so much difference between a hairdresser and a surgeon, and yet we both love the Lord Jesus Christ. We both prayed every day and read our Bibles, and we had that in common, and that has been the glue that has held us together and given us a new lease on life. So I just wanted to share with that. Now, as far as going into a cocktail party, being asked questions, that is just par for the course. And, of course, being an orthopedic surgeon, it usually centers around a knee or an elbow or a back or a neck. And it's actually quite, I find it to be enjoyable for me to be able to relate to somebody and help them in that way. But then I try to refer them to a physician that's in their community that is geared up to handle that sort of thing, and I politely bow out saying I'm retired and doing eyes on cancer work. So that's my way of handling it.
Yeah, so there's definitely a way to handle that. So thank you for coming back and filling in that piece about Jeanne. When you first met her, what was your first impression? I mean, she's a powerhouse in our industry. Was that your impression of her, or did you see another part?
Well, I have to admit that I had been dating, and I broke out of a relationship, and I was a year of just not getting involved anymore, and I decided that I was going to go back and date. And so our mutual friend was a photographer, and she came over with Jeanne, and they were going to get me ready for a photo op so that I could have a picture to go online and try online dating. Now,
okay.
I've never really gotten to that point because Jeanne comes over and starts doing my hair and starts trimming my eyebrows and pulling hairs out of my ears, and the next thing you know, we're best friends. So I never did get the date. So there you go.
So you mentioned the whole idea that there is this big differences between your career as a doctor and hers as a hairdresser, and the way that you approach life in your careers. How has that played a role for both of you in terms of shaping your relationship?
Wow. Do you want to start, hon? You can do that first.
Sure. I'll say that right off the top of my head, the barrier of entry, the schooling that it took to get Deane into his career is huge. I mean, the tenacity and the endurance and the mental intellect. And then to be in surgery, you really want a perfectionist when it comes to opening up and repairing your body. And Deane very much is a high achiever, highly intellectual, and very, very precise and perfect, pre-planned, always looking for the problem and fix it before it happens. Whereas as a hairdresser, I love working on people. In fact, we say he worked on the inside and I worked on the out.
Mm-hmm.
But mine is like 1 year of beauty school, have scissors will travel. I can do anywhere I can do hair, and have done in many, many places that are just so uncommon. And that nothing has to be perfect. So it's making it look great and making the client feel great, and that it is this immediate, if you didn't get it right and it needs to grow back out, then you've got another chance to work on the next client an hour later, and you get to do it again. So I say he really needed me because my loose, easygoing, I say quick and dirty. Do it quickly, and don't worry about it being too perfect, especially in styling.
I have to add to that as a surgeon, I walk into a room, the person tells me their problem, I set the plan in motion, I put them to sleep, and I get the job done. There's not a lot of touchy-feely connectivity there. So, although I do try, in the bedside manner to be sensitive to that, Jeanne has brought a whole new sensitivity to what it means to be a human being and to be able to empathize with and hear a person. And so as we work together, I think we're very complementary, which is really a unique partnership. So there is something that she's added to my life, which I'm very thankful for, which is the ability to really be sensitive to and to love people and to be open to helping them in a way that I never really expected. On the other hand, there's that surgeon in me still that, if you've got cancer, we're going to take care of that right now. So,
right. The problem solver is still there.
You bet.
Right. So how long was it after you met before you guys got married?
Well, it was holding hands. From that moment on, we knew that we were in big trouble unless we got married, because there was a passion that kind of came up there, and so we went to our pastor, and I think it was a couple of months later that we got married, wasn't it?
Okay. So it was the first, it was a year as friends, and then a couple months after you guys decided that it was going to be a real, a long-term relationship. Was the wedding big or small?
It was fairly big. It was about 200 people. And people said, why is it so fast? It was like a shotgun wedding. It came together very quickly and very, very beautifully. And tomorrow is our 14th year anniversary.
Wow. Congratulations. And so a good timing to have this wonderful talk. But I understand that that the honeymoon didn't last long because there was something that quickly sort of interceded and took over your life. Tell us a little bit about what happened shortly after you guys got married.
Well, doctors have a tendency to not go to doctors, and being a man, that's even compounding it. So I had been limping along with some problems that I didn't really want to own up to, and Jeanne made me go to the doctor, and it turned out that I had cancer, had prostate cancer. And my father had prostate cancer, and we got him through the last part of his life, so I watched prostate cancer take his life. And it was in me, and I did not want it to ruin our beautiful marriage. Our new lease on life was just getting started, so we went ahead and we fought it, and we caught it early. We used what's called complementary and alternative care medicine, or CAM, to empower the immune system and to strengthen my ability to withstand the surgery. And then we had surgery, and we got it all out, and no evidence of disease. So from that moment on, we decided that we would counterattack. Plus, we lost our dog. The famous German Shepherd lost to skin cancer. And so we just decided we were going to come back and fight cancer together. And we saw this opportunity as a physician and a hairdresser to work on early recognition of skin cancer and to have people in the beauty industry educated about that and be able to spot it and help their clients get treated. Because if you catch it early and you get rid of it, then you don't need chemo. You don't need to worry about it. It's gone, So that's our...
Yeah, and that's such an important part. I know we're going to talk a little bit about the work that you're doing and how you've transformed that circumstance into some really important work that you're doing. But because this is such an important issue, Deane, can you tell us a little bit? You mentioned about the treatment. So you mentioned the term CAN.
Yes.
Will you just explain a little bit about that?
Sure. As a physician, we really depend upon the body and the prayers of people around us to really help us to get the job done. We recognize we are limited in what we can do, and especially in cancer, when the enemy is so persistent and can be overwhelming, that we really focus now. It's been in the last 10 years that the field of oncology has recognized and found very important the strengthening of what we call cellular health, and in particular the health of the immune system. And now, because of targeted immunotherapy, drugs like Yervoy that come out and enhance or strengthen the immune system response, we're finding that we're getting a substantial cure rate. I mean, we're getting remission and even cures when we didn't think we could in the past because we're partnering with the immune system. So that complementary and alternative care space of strengthening through exercise, weight loss, good nutrition, vitamin supplements, herbs, even some Chinese medicine, which sometimes I'm a little hesitant to do, but I have found some things in there that are good. Those kinds of treatments give you an edge. It gives you like a very strong, higher probability of success of traditional treatment when you add those to the traditional treatment. So that's what we did.
And when you also mentioned that an important part of that in terms of, I love what you said, that in the last 10 years, oncology has discovered the power of cellular health, and that it's really this partnering with the immune system. But one part you didn't mention was the spiritual health, the prayers of others. Tell us a little bit about how important that has been and how important that is in being more and more in the treatment of these various different types of diseases.
It is absolutely essential. Both Jeanne and I have found that our spiritual life is so important that we would never forsake it or leave it. We have come to that through, searching multiple different types of spiritual experiences. But for us, it's been in a church with Jesus as our Savior and the Bible as our guide. But to be, really clear about this, without the spiritual component, I see a lot of misdirection and problems with complications and other types of things that can lead to a less than optimum result. And in my own case of having surgery, I was guided through the surgery. They prayed for me before the surgery, and I am now in the top 10% of patients recovered from this without complications. So I can tell from my own personal witness that prayer was an essential part of that.
Right. Great. Well, that's a happy part of the story. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll talk about how Deane and Jeanne has transformed their experience in this early part of their marriage into a way to help others. So stay with us. We'll be right back.
Shh. Over here. Here's a secret for a virus-free computer. ESET. They've been a pioneer in the antivirus industry for over 25 years. 25 years of innovative, top-rated antivirus protection. ESET's award-winning security solutions provide a safe online experience for over 100 million home and business computer owners. They are so affordable, fast, and simple to use. So be gone, you blue screen of death. ESET's on my computer. If it's not on yours, visit HealthyLife.net's advertiser page and click on ESET now.
Here's the thing about beauty. It's pretty. At AmericanMadeBeauty.com, we're all about the pretty, making it easy for you to find what makes your beauty shine. We have essentially everything you need, and AmericanMadeBeauty.com celebrates brands that were created right here in the U.S. of A. Imagine everything you need from the best hair, skin, and nail products to makeup and even the tools, because it's all about pretty at AmericanMadeBeauty.com. We also think you're pretty important, so visit AmericanMadeBeauty.com. Browse, buy, learn. AmericanMadeBeauty.com. We're looking for a few good American beauty manufacturers who want to increase their brand in an exclusive credentialed category. If you're an American company who has conceived, designed, and bottled brands that are all about pretty, then we're pretty sure we're talking about you. And we're pretty sure you should be on AmericanMadeBeauty.com. This beauty website focuses on entrepreneurs and beauty startups as well as established brands. If it's pretty, we want to see it, and we want to sell it on AmericanMadeBeauty.com. To learn how you can be part of AmericanMadeBeauty.com, visit AmericanMadeBeauty.com now.
What does HealthyLife.net and Amazon.com have in common? Well, they're both available on the Internet. They both give great value. But most important, most of our positive program hosts and guests are accomplished authors, and their books are available from, you got it, Amazon.com. Now, it even gets better than that, because when you're listening on air to a HealthyLife.net host or guest, you can go directly to Amazon.com and you can order your book while you're still listening to your favorite HealthyLife.net program. So when you hear an author you like, go to the homepage of HealthyLife.net and click on Amazon.com.
Where positive people and radio unite. HealthyLife.net.
Welcome back. You're listening to Radio AMB on HealthyLife.net. I'm your host, Patty Smucker, and we're here with Dr. Deane Foster and his wife, Jeanne Braa Foster, the president and vice president of Eyes on Cancer, an organization dedicated to advance the prevention and early detection of cancer through education in the beauty industry. Wow, Jeanne, what a huge endeavor you guys have embarked upon. Tell us about how it started, that you moved from this really traumatic experience that you were both having in your early marriage to deciding to create Eyes on Cancer.
Well, for me, it was such an amazing transformation, because when you get that diagnosis, the C word as people call it, your whole world just flips into like a real dramatic phase. And I must say that Deane didn't sleep for 2 weeks, I swear. He went into research because, of course, that's his mentality. And he started researching and finding, the best alternative care. And he mentioned alternative care, but he believes, and we both do, that you should fight cancer on every front. So not just alternative, but backed with, of course, medical care as well. So going through that was a real dramatic time, I must say. We went even to raw vegan food with lots of garlic. I mean, I would say it's a good thing I wasn't working in a salon.
I'm glad it's over.
Right, yes. but to see how... Yeah.
We learned about early detection through that, and that's why we formed Eyes on Cancer. Eyes on Cancer is just that, getting your eyes trained so that you can see the cancer early. And it's not just skin cancer, although we're starting with that. And for a person to look at the back of their head to see if they have skin cancer is very difficult. They can't get back there. And so that's why when we were talking about this and we were thinking about what we could do to give back to both the medical and the beauty industry, we decided that we would join together a physician and a hairdresser and teach beauty professionals what it looked like, what early skin cancer looked like, and warn the client and help encourage them to go to the doctor. So that's what Eyes on Cancer is all about. We have a saying that says, trained eyes save lives, and that's what we're training them to do.
And so when you're looking at engaging someone, what's the messaging, what's the tools that you're giving that professional to be able to understand what they're dealing with?
I'll take that, Jeanne, all right?
Okay. Yes.
The first is to be able to recognize it, and then to be able to speak to the client or even a family member, because we've had daughter save her father from melanoma from this. So it's something that you have to recognize first. So we have a online course that you can engage in by going to eyesoncancer.org and click on the online training and go through the steps. And it takes about 20 minutes, and by the time you're done, you have an awareness of what early skin cancer looks like, and then, especially melanoma, and then you push a button and you get a little certificate. and you can put that at your station or show your family or what have you. So that's our first step. But the second step, which is just as important, is what Jeanne brings to the table, which is how to communicate what you're seeing to the person so you don't frighten them and you encourage them to get a physician evaluation. Jeanne, do you want to talk about that for a sec?
Yes. Well, I think wanting to give the vision to the industry of why we want them involved with Eyes on Cancer, it goes back, Patty, to what you said originally. How do you communicate it to someone? And I think because skin cancer is a surface cancer, it's on the outside of the body. It's not hidden cancer like, pancreatic, which is what took Paul Mitchell's life, or lung cancer, which is the number one cancer really in fatality rates, but it's a surface cancer. So Deane saw that if beauty professionals knew what to look for, then they could let a client become aware and it could be taken care of before it ever even goes down, because skin cancer spreads on the surface first. And then once it's about the size of an eraser, then it starts to go deep. When it goes deep, of course, is when it reaches the bloodstream and it metastasizes, and that's how melanoma especially can take lives. So,
but you're using some terms that I want to make sure. On this day and age, we think that everyone really knows. The three of us, we've lived with cancer. My audience knows I had breast cancer at the age of 33, but I am often struck and knowing that a lot of people don't understand some of these terms. So the whole idea from an anatomical perspective is that you don't want those cancer cells, which are basically human cells that are out of control in terms of the way they're multiplying. Correct me if I'm wrong, doctor, on all of this description. They're multiplying faster than they should, and what we don't want is for them to get in the bloodstream because they metastasize, which is the process by which our blood takes these abnormal dividing cells and spreads it through the body. Is that right?
Correct. Very well said. And the key, again, is to see it early and have it removed. And I can't stress that enough. The most obvious is to check yourself and to find something that's changing. If cancer is developing on your skin, the skin will change, and there may be a black spot that starts to spread. In fact, multiple different colors is even a more dramatic sign of cancer. It may ulcerate, it may cause irritation, or you might just feel like there's something there that's just not right. But in the earliest stages, it's still on the surface, and it can be removed by a surgeon or a dermatologist. And there's a very high chance, 85-90% chance that you've gotten it all, and you're going to have no evidence of disease. So what you're saying is exactly right. Get it before it metastasizes. And if there's a question about that, I wanted to stress we are doing this out of our heart because we really wanted to give back. And if there's anyone listening that wants this education, you can go online and you can take the course. And if there's any problems, just click on info@eyesoncancer.org. And Ryan Harrison, our right-hand fantastic guy who's helping us, the most amazing volunteer we've ever experienced in our life, he is there to help you. And he's actually got salons and salon chains being educated in this now and being certified by Eyes on Cancer. So we are out. This is no joke. We are out of the warpath. We are out there and we are educating. So anything or anybody that wants to get involved with this, just contact us and we will get going with it.
And so, and I love the way that you describe that in terms of anything that you see on the surface of the skin, and keeping an eye for dark spots that begin to change, that begin to spread out. Are there other things that you can share with the audience today as far as the kinds of things for the parts of your skin that you can see? What are some of the things that you're looking for?
Well, I think one of the most unusual and least known is a black streak going down your nail, because a melanoma can form under the nail bed, and when it does, the black pigment from the melanoma goes down the nail, longitudinally down the nail as a black streak. So any black streak going down a nail, it's time to go and have the dermatologist check it out. Another is if a mole, and 50% of melanomas start in moles, if a mole changes and it becomes what's called the ugly duckling, and it's the ugly duckling sign, if a mole looks different than the other surrounding moles in that area, that is a very good reason to have it removed. I think that the most important thing is really to just get a sense of what is going on with your skin and if things are changing. Squamous cell, for example, on the forehead starts out with actinic keratosis, which is just a rough patch of redness that starts out there, and if you hit it with liquid nitrogen, it'll go away and you won't get cancer to begin with. So there's like a sensitivity that if you see something, do something. It's just like, in the airport. You see something, say something, and then go do something about it. And live without this growing inside of you, which is just a tremendously better existence. And believe me, I can just say that you know what I'm talking about. Right? I mean, you're surviving without this thing hassling you too, and that it's a much better existence than having to go to the doctor every week or two and getting treatment.
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead, Jeanne.
I just wanted to add, because I heard Deane mention squamous cell, and in our training, we make sure that people understand there are 3 kinds of skin cancers. There's basal cell, squamous cell, and then melanoma. So the first 2 are not as highly concerning as melanoma, but they still are very important to learn what the actual early recognition of the signs are, and get them taken care of before you have to have too big of a scar to have them removed. So we train people in our online course of the 3 types, and one of the danger signs is something that doesn't heal or it continues to bleed. And that's a real key point, right, husband?
Absolutely.
And part of the reason why I think that this is such an important story, and as I said before, many people know, I went through breast cancer at 33. I'm 58. So the big moral to that story, as it is with you, doctor, is that cancer in this day and age is we can survive it. Early detection is what it's all about, and having professionals. That's, Jeanne, I love what you're doing in terms of teaching the professionals, and we'll go in our next and talk a little bit more about the professional. But that ability to be able to have someone that guides you through the process and becomes part of your support team, because I don't know about you, Deane, but one of the things I'm living with 26 years later is that we've survived it, but there are other things that are happening in my body as a result of the treatment. And because 25 years ago there wasn't more of a comprehensive approach to taking care of cancer, I find myself in a situation where I'm dealing with downstream problems that I never knew about when it was taken care of 25 years ago. And I'll give you a perfect example. I just recently went and had a posture assessment done because my neck's like bothering me. And what we've discovered is that because I've had a reconstructive surgery, the pectoral muscle on my chest and the trapezius muscle on my back are impacted by the reconstructive surgery. And so my entire right side of my body is lifted up almost 2.5 inches higher than the other side, completely tweaked off. And so by being able to really understand that we are a complete organism, that when we're looking at healthcare, being able to have a salon professional, to have a doctor, to have a team of people that are working together is really what long-term wellness and health is all about. So I'm so excited about what you guys are doing.
Very good. I just want to add to that as I have gone through the same kind of experience that you're describing, I have found the need for a support group of prayer warriors who pray for me, because sometimes I don't have the strength to be able to do it, but they do, and they can come around me. So I just am very taken by the need for having people that love you around you and are willing to pray for you. So that's
absolutely. Well, we're going to take a break on that note, which I love, and when we return, we'll talk a little bit more about the work that Jeanne's doing with professionals and helping them to really implement Eyes on Cancer. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Here's the thing about beauty. It's pretty. At AmericanMadeBeauty.com, we're all about the pretty, making it easy for you to find what makes your beauty shine. We have essentially everything you need, and AmericanMadeBeauty.com celebrates brands that were created right here in the U.S. of A. Imagine everything you need, from the best hair, skin, and nail products to makeup and even the tools, because it's all about pretty at AmericanMadeBeauty.com. We also think you're pretty important, so visit AmericanMadeBeauty.com. Browse, buy, learn. AmericanMadeBeauty.com.
For all your live or pre-recorded webcasting needs, come to earthchannel.com. Get your web-based message out to a select group or the whole world. It's easy. A pioneer in webcasting, earthchannel.com provides the best products and services to big corporations and government users. And now this same technology is available to you. They have the best Earthcast encoders, servers, and products to meet your technical needs. But wait, don't want to mess with technical stress? No problem. They'll do it for you. EarthChannel.com is your answer. You can use webcasting for lots of things like advertising, marketing, customer support, training, and don't forget web radio and TV. In fact, you're listening to a live Earthcast right now. So come to EarthChannel.com. Actualize your audio or video webcasting needs today. You can't beat the friendly service or the price. Call EarthChannel.com at 1-800-849-8978. That's 1-800-849-8978.
We're looking for a few good American beauty manufacturers who want to increase their brand in an exclusive credentialed category. If you're an American company who has conceived, designed, and bottled brands that are all about pretty, then we're pretty sure we're talking about you. And we're pretty sure you should be on AmericanMadeBeauty.com. This beauty website focuses on entrepreneurs and beauty startups as well as established brands. If it's pretty, we want to see it, and we want to sell it on AmericanMadeBeauty.com. To learn how you can be part of AmericanMadeBeauty.com, visit AmericanMadeBeauty.com now.
When you're looking for bedding, department store prices can shock you. Well, be shocked no more. Sell steak cheap, not cheap steak. That's the motto of Anna's Linens. Although they don't sell steak, they do sell the best bedding, bath, and home decor items. They strive to provide their merchandise at extreme value to their customers, and they do it. Great everyday prices on everything and military discounts. Plus, if you visit them online, they have clearance items and internet specials. Visit them online now at HealthyLife.net's advertiser page.
Radio your way. HealthyLife.net.
Welcome back to Radio AMB on HealthyLife.net. I'm your host, Patty Smucker, who's been in the industry for 40 years. One of the things I love about our industry is that it's so much more than just beauty. Here at AMB, we try and pull back the curtain to help you see all the ways our industry touches human beings, Today we've been talking about with our guest, former orthopedic surgeon Dr. Deane Foster and his wife Jeanne Braa Foster, one of our industry's powerhouses that has helped build the Paul Mitchell hair care brand from the beginning. Today they've founded and are leading an organization called Eyes on Cancer, an organization dedicated to the advanced prevention and early detection of cancer through education and beauty. Jeanne, tell us a little bit about what you're doing. We've talked about what to look for. The salon professional has identified that their client potentially has a problem. How are you training them to communicate that to the consumer?
Well, we're training them both online and in person. We've gone through a lot of the schools because we know that you can get a group of a couple of hundred students at one time, and they're ready to learn. They probably are totally uncomfortable speaking about this subject with a client, so they're the ones that we find in-person training really works great. For people that have been in the industry, they usually have an intuition when things don't look right on a client's skin and they see a change, and yet they may not have the specific training. So we wanted to offer this to them as well so that they consciously know and actually are certified that they can speak into a client's wellness as well as into their beauty and not scare a client, but use the right words that are more like, I'm curious about this spot that I see here. Has anyone ever brought it to your attention? Oh, they haven't? Well, if you'd like, I can take a picture of it with your phone and show it to you. And that way, either you can have a medical professional take a look next time you're in the doctor, or you may just want to keep an eye on it. Next time you come in, we'll take another picture. So it's a way of being able to communicate comfortably a subject that, we would never, ever say, oh, my word, I think you might have cancer. That would be terrible.
Right. Talk about making somebody day. Right.
So the training really, it not only tells you the 3 types of skin cancer, what the early signs of recognition are, but how to not even pretend that we are a medical professional, but we're in our role as a beauty professional. We see areas a client can't see on themselves. And 6% of melanoma is from the neck up, but 20% of the fatalities are from the neck up. And that statistic tells you that it's because they've gone too long and have not been detected. And we know as a beauty professional, you look at people every 6 weeks or couple months, and doctors may see them once or twice a year and still may have trouble going through, especially dry hair, because wet hair is really easy to see the scalp. You don't have to do an extra check. You just are aware while you're working. If you see something, you zoom in on it. You learn what to say in a way that doesn't scare someone. And then I think taking a picture is the best way to show somebody something they can't see on themselves.
And that's just it also is a great way, because particularly in this day and age where most people do have a phone, that they can actually capture that recording of something and be able to start tracking it. So what a great way to be able to show that. Tell us a little bit about the work, what you've discovered as you've begun exploring this with young professionals entering the beauty industry.
Well, it's amazing because we've gotten so many stories in the beauty school, people that have seen something on a client. We've got people that have seen something on themselves, which Jeanne says, put the oxygen mask on yourself first, and gone to the doctor, and sure enough, it was. We've seen a stylist who found it on the temple of her father, who didn't want to go to the doctor, and she said, "You've got to go, Dad," and he did, sure enough. Even Deane and I, we have a friend that he's actually a school teacher, and he's helped us with our gardening, and he knew what we were doing, and he said, "Hey, Doc, take a look at this spot on me, on his back." And sure enough, Deane said, "You need to get that checked." Typical guy. It was in the early spring, and he went off to visit his family for the summer, came back, said, "I'm back." We said, "Did you check that spot?" And he said, "Oh, no, I haven't yet, but I will." And we said, "Okay, it's time." And that was melanoma. And his doctor said, "You tell your friends they saved your life."
Right.
So we know that it's working. And it's beautiful to see young people actually take this on, learn it, believe in it, and be that fulfillment of if they see something, they know how to respond professionally.
And are you having an opportunity to go beyond hairdressers? Because I know I work behind the chair as an esthetician. And so for many years, I mean, when clients would sit in my chair, they're wearing a gown that is elastic just above the breast. But when they would sit down, that elastic would always come down in their back. And I was, years ago trained and actually found, and never got any training, but I saw every time this woman sat down every month in my chair, I saw this spot on her back, and I began to see it change. It was right on her spine, and I was able to identify it early on, and sure enough, it was the same thing, and it literally saved her life. I mean, the impact that makes for us as beauty professionals, to be able to have that kind of impact on people's life, I'm sure that really is rewarding for both of you. Deane, you've been doing this all your life as a doctor, but being able to have the power to provide beauty professionals with this kind of tool has got to be really rewarding for both of you.
Absolutely. I wanted to share with you just something very quickly, that when Jeanne mentioned taking a picture of it, that there are services online so that if you're out in a rural area or you get a 2 or 3 month appointment to a dermatologist, sometimes that happens, you can actually use the app, and for like $2 or $3 at skinvision.com or for $60 at dermlink.md, you can get the picture evaluated. At Dermlink, it's a board-certified dermatologist that will look at it for you. So they can give you a pretty good feel of whether it's cancer or not before actually having to go to the dermatologist. Of course, they can't do anything about it. It's just a diagnostic service. But it is something to keep in mind that once you got a picture, you can actually use that picture to further evaluate it. I wanted to share that with you. Absolutely. And Deane, will you give us those websites again? Yeah. Skinvision.com, and that is app. It's only a couple of bucks, and it gives you a computer analysis. And dermlink.md. Dermlink is the dermatologists at UC San Francisco do this as a service, and they evaluate the picture and give you within 24 hours a consultation report. So they're actual board-certified dermatologists, they're faculty, and they're very credible, and they probably have the best service. So that one, again, is dermlink.md. Dermlink.md. Okay, great. Well, thank you. This is really amazing. If we've already mentioned that if somebody wanted to get involved with Eyes on Cancer, it's eyesoncancer.org, and so they can just go on and enroll in the program and get the certification. What's your future? What do you guys need right now to continue to grow your work? Wow. Funding. As a nonprofit, that is our number one need always. We have lots of vision, and Jeanne has plenty of experience. And our view of being able to take this to the next level
even offering a consumer course, which we do not have yet, but with funding we can. Right now our certification course for professionals is a $10 course. It is 30 minutes, not 20. Deane's extra fast. Most people will take 30 minutes and a quiz, and then getting a certificate and putting it at your station so that your clients know that you're aware.
So we just came off of a fundraising event, and we are committed to trying to reach 5,000 people to get them aware. We're up to about 7,000 so far, so we're going to add another 5,000 people this year to our awareness bank of people that know. And so if anybody wants to help us to spread that awareness, to help get a salon trained, to get a beauty school trained, I mean, we are there and we are ready to help. So contact us at info@eyesoncancer.org, and we will get back to you to connect and to get things going. And then the fundraising. Yeah, and the fundraising is it's an online crowdfunding type of fundraising program. Again, you can go online, you can donate, or if you want to get into a campaign and help us in that way, do an event or something like that, we would love to hear from you.
Great. So, again, eyesoncancer.org. Deane and Jeanne, it's such a pleasure to have this opportunity to learn about what you're doing. And thank you. Thank you for the difference that you're making in the lives of the industry and consumers. Any ways that American Made Beauty can help, we would love to do that. Thanks for being with us today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Keep those emails coming to requests at American Made Beauty for comments and questions. And look for American Made Beauty and Patty Smucker on social, on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Pinterest. Send us your questions. Next week, join us for a titillating conversation with an L.A. County probation officer and his wife, Michael and Alina Aiden, and we'll hear about groundbreaking work that they're doing on health and the mind. I'm Patty Smucker. Thank you for listening to Radio AMB, where we think pretty is pretty important in all things in beauty.